Hello, and welcome to the fourth episode of our show about Rotary. If you remember, Rotary is a worldwide service organization. So what that means is there are different Rotary clubs, about 30,000 Rotary clubs around the world, little local clubs. Together, all of those clubs make up 1.2 million Rotary members around the world. As a service organization, basically our hobby is to do good in the world. That's why we get together. And if you can imagine a network of 1.2 million people who get their hearts and minds behind one particular project of doing good, we can actually get amazing things accomplished. So this show is really about explaining to you how that works. The show is in three segments. The first segment, we ordinarily talk about Rotary worldwide and things that the Rotary has been doing on a global basis, things like polio eradication, housing, etc. And then the second segment is about what Rotary has done on a local level, and then the third and final segment is about upcoming Rotary events. Well, this particular episode, I'm really excited. We have two very interesting guests on the show with us, and what we're going to do is we're going to combine Rotary worldwide with Rotary local. We're going to meet with Howard Golden and Ed Frank, two members of the Spring Valley Rotary Club, which is just over across the Tappan Zee Bridge. And what they have done, started as a club project, has turned into a worldwide event and a worldwide project. And let's meet now. Howard and Ed, thank you so much for being here.
Good morning.
Thank you for having us.
Now, you're both members of the Spring Valley Rotary Club, and you're also both Vietnam veterans.
That is correct.
That's correct.
Tell us a little bit about your history serving in Vietnam. I'll start with you, Howard.
I was in Vietnam 1967, 1968. I was what was called a grunt, an infantryman. I was there during the Tet Offensive, and I was shot multiple times during my tour duty.
You were in it.
I was in it.
And Ed?
And I'm a veteran of Vietnam also, U.S. Navy. I was stationed on a riverboat in the Mekong Delta from November of 1969 to November of 1970.
Wow. I'm going to thank you both for your service. I appreciate all that you have done and all that you've sacrificed. So tell us a little bit about 10 years ago or so, you went back to Vietnam.
Correct. In 2005, well, in 2000, I lost my son to the cause of Agent Orange. We carry Agent Orange. In 2005, a group of us, 11 veterans, decided that we are going to go back and visit all the places we were stationed. And so we started this journey as veterans. We were Rotarians, but we started it off as veterans.
Right. It must have been a very difficult trip for you.
It brought up a lot of memories. The reason we wanted to do it, we wanted to obtain some closure.
Okay.
Both of us had experiences there that we wanted to see how the country was after 30 years later.
Absolutely.
And it was a rewarding experience as well as an educational experience.
Right. So tell us a little bit about what did you find when you went back?
We saw children working the sex trade. We saw people living on $1 or less a day. But we saw also people that were happy. They were satisfied with themselves. We saw a lack of education, especially in the rural areas.
So, so you saw a lot. You saw a lot had changed, but you also saw a lot of need.
Yes, we did. And we thought that the best way we could satisfy that need was through education. And we thought through education we could break the poverty cycle. And Howard and I came back and we were looking at ways after the children had captured our hearts. We wanted to see what we could do. And we discussed it with our Rotary Club, and through networking, we had the ability to accompany somebody else who was a Vietnamese national back on a trip there some months later, and he introduced us to the networking so we could go about to build schools to help break the poverty cycle through education.
Wow. So, so you realized that the best way to help these people was to build schools.
We were forming an organization called STEP, Schools to End Poverty. And in 2006, that was formed, and we decided the very first place we're going to do this was in Vietnam, and we were going to help Dominican sisters replace a school that was destroyed during the war. We were going to help the indigenous mountain yards, which is equivalent to our American Indians, help them maintain their culture, their language, and art by building a school in the Central Highlands.
Wow. And what school was that?
It's called the Rose School in Dalat.
Okay. So that was your very first project. And that was as Rotarians?
That was as Rotarians.
Wow. So you got the Rotary behind you, you got the Rotary support?
We created the foundation, which is part of Spring Valley Rotary, and we started getting Rotary support.
That's phenomenal. So that school was your first project. What else have you accomplished in the 10 years since you've been STEP?
Well, in line with education, we also saw the need to build a school in a far remote area in the southern part of Vietnam, and a place called Carmel. And it was a 3-room school. The existing school that was there, it would flood out in the classrooms during the monsoon season. So we decided that would be the second project, and that was teamed up with an NGO, a non-government organization, where we went out and raised the funds and then built the school, and we went back and dedicated it.
Wow.
Then we got into, we saw children that had no mobility, so with no mobility they couldn't go to school. We got into the wheelchair business.
Now, no mobility, that's largely residual effects of Agent Orange?
Yes, very much so.
Okay. And so you said wheelchairs?
Wheelchairs, walking devices, 280 since we started that.
Wow.
And to be a Rotarian and to be able to put a child into a wheelchair and watch them gain mobility, it's just an amazing feeling.
Wow.
And that was a learning process for us also, because when we first started the wheelchair program, we had adult wheelchairs for the children. So we learned on subsequent trips that the need was there for pediatric wheelchairs.
Right.
So we contracted with local builders to build the chairs and assist the children in their mobility.
Now, STEP, that's an acronym for Schools to End Poverty. The schools help to end poverty by, well, tell us a little bit about how.
We're giving them the ability to get an education to become productive members of society. And that is K through 4 years of college.
Wow.
And we're seeing the cycle now, because this is 10 years we're doing this, that we're having college kids graduate and they're now taking on part of our project. And that is really our ultimate goal, is for them to take possession of. But we're not just in Vietnam. We're in Jamaica, we're in Honduras, and we're in Ghana.
Wow. Now, what led you to these other places?
Well, Jamaica, one of our Rotary past presidents of our club was from Jamaica, and she suggested it as one of our goals to do during her year of presidency. And we took it upon ourselves to set that project up, and we did the fundraising for it, and we had it built, and she was there to dedicate it.
And so she checks on it every year to
Yeah.
make sure it's surviving, it's doing well.
Good.
That's the other thing that we do with the school, like the Rose School is our premier school that we've done. Since then, when we first built it, we found that there was a need for clean water, so we supplied them with a clean water facility. The school became so large, and it's 3 levels, that the disabled children had no mobility to get from floor to floor. So we signed on for a 5-year contract where we gave them the go-ahead to purchase a $25,000 elevator.
Wow.
And we just paid that off last year. And now the children were able to move throughout the school.
Right.
Then we got into assisting deaf children, getting computers, and then sanitation, and STEP just kept growing and growing, bringing medical supplies, toothbrushes.
So it's so much more than just schools.
Absolutely. It's a full-service organization.
And that's one of the things that I really love about Rotary, is someone can come up with a great idea like you did, and find the support to take that great idea and turn it into a life-saving, a game-changing thing for these people. Now, back to STEP. What else do these schools provide for the community other than education for the children?
It is a center for them to maintain their culture, their language, their art. It draws people from the community to the center, the school. And so it is open to other people within the community.
Great. So it's a cultural center, it's a community center.
It's a community center.
It's so much more. Now tell me about, there was a school that you recently dedicated to one of your own.
It was, we built it, the Mayan Center. It is an orphanage/school. It was built for orphans and street kids and young girls forced into the sex trade who were being integrated back into society. So it was 5 levels. And what we did, we decided that we would like to dedicate it after a past district governor of our district,
Of your
Jeffrey
Rotary
Keon,
district, yes.
who also put his money where his mouth was. And he traveled back with us to Vietnam and helped us to build financially this school. And this past March, that entire building was dedicated in the memory of past district governor Jeffrey Keon.
Wow. And it's a beautiful building and it's a great legacy.
It is.
Let's talk about a little bit about the future of STEP. You've done amazing things. You've built schools on multiple continents, and but where are you going from here?
The original school that we built was the Rose School in Delat. When we originally built it, it was set up so that it could accommodate 500 plus children. It eventually accommodated 545. They approached us on our last visit there and asked us if we would undertake a program where they could expand the school. With the ability to expand the school, it would then open it up to an additional 500, so there would be 1,000 children there, and it would provide certification from 1 through 6th grade. So that's the current project that we're involved in, District 7210.
It's also, I think we should note that we've partnered with Dominican sisters, but no religion is taught in the school.
Okay.
If they want religious instructions, that is after school, and that is in a church behind where the school is.
Okay.
So we separate church and state.
Got it.
We're there for education. In any country we go, we do not get involved in the religious part of it.
Got it. Got it. So now, in order to accomplish this next project that you have, I know that you have a financial goal, and I know that Rotary District 7210 is trying to help you achieve that, and I'm sure that some of our viewers will be compelled to help you. Tell us about what your goal is and how they can help.
All right, the goal is to expand the school, and it's called the $82,000 project.
Wow.
What we have been doing is going around to different Rotary clubs within the district, as well as local schools, and making presentations and doing fundraising. We started it last July 1st. It was given the blessing by our present district governor, Nick Constantino, and he set it up as his international project for the district for this coming year.
Right.
So our goal is to raise the $82,000 before the end of this coming June, when his year is up, so that we can then go back and dedicate the school in late October, early November.
Right.
Presently, in the last 6 months, we're almost halfway there, and we have visited some 39 Rotary clubs making presentations, and it's the hope that we will get this completed by June. We have given the go-ahead. We'll be breaking ground. We
Right.
sent our first payment, and we'll be breaking ground on February 15th. To start the process. So.
And we are dedicating the school October 28th, so if you want to come, or if any of you want to get in touch with us.
I would love to. I'd love to. I'll see if I can get some time off. Now, you've mentioned, and we've said a few times here, that the district governor supported, or a former district governor. For our viewers who are not Rotarians, they should know that Rotary is, as I said earlier, over 30,000 individual local clubs. In our viewership area, we have Brewster, Patterson, Carmel, Mayapack, Pauling, but these clubs are part of a region, and the regions are part of a district. So when you say District 7210, you in Spring Valley and us in this side of Putnam County are all members of District 7210, District 7210. All the districts combined, all the clubs combined together worldwide makes up 1.2 million Rotarians. How far and wide is the help that you've been getting for STEP? Is it just from the local districts?
We are literally worldwide now.
Yes.
It started out, we had from Pennsylvania, from California. We also now have a Spring Valley Rotarian living in Vietnam. So
wow.
It makes it interesting that they say, how could you monitor your projects? Well, we have somebody living in Vietnam.
Boots on the ground.
Boots on the ground.
Yeah. I know that our viewers can contribute, can donate to help this happen. $82,000 to build how much school?
A school addition to accommodate an additional 500 children.
Wow.
You can't buid an addition to a house in the United States for $82,000.
You can't build a kitchen for $82,000.
Think about that. That's, it'd be 1,045 children each and every day get an education. That's powerful.
It really is.
That's really what Rotary's about.
Absolutely.
And we've made it real easy for the clubs within District 7210 to contribute. We divided the $82,000 by the number of clubs, and it's roughly $1,300 per club. So if you donate to that, you can be part of a legacy that said, listen, I provided education for 500 additional children in Vietnam. So it's something very special, and it's part of the legacy of Rotary.
It absolutely is. And I know that our viewers will also want to send checks or contribute because it's such a moving project. It's amazing what you've been able to accomplish. So
we have a website.
You do.
It's Cool Step, and there's a PayPal there.
Schoolstandpoverty.org.
Great.
And you can make donations to that.
And should your project be overfunded, which is not something we're worried about. We're not worried about it being overfunded, but if it is, there's so many other projects that you have that you're working on, and there's a cost of keeping these schools.
Yes. Absolutely. We do a 5-year guarantee for all our projects, for each and every one of them, and any extra, quote, money we get, we want to do a bicycle program for children just rescued from the sex trade.
Wow.
To give them mobility so they could go to school on a bike.
Got it. Yeah. Got it.
The other thing we're involved in is in Saigon, we have a scholarship program that started some 5 or 6 years ago, and there was only 8 children in the scholarship program. Since then, it's expanded to 25 children.
Right.
So we have 25 children every year that we continually support. In addition to that, we have the 2 orphanages that we provide food for over 60 children for the year. So those are rice, we make biannual rice buys so these children can be fed.
Now, I believe you have teenage children, correct?
I do.
So I'm being the interviewer now. So to send a child to college here, it's quite costly.
Yes.
For us, we're able to put a child through college each and every year. It costs us $150 to send one child to college. So it's doable.
And in their community, it's a real standout to be a college graduate.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm going to say that I am utterly proud to be a Rotarian with the likes of you, but I also feel like I need to step up my game. You guys have done really amazing things. I thank you for all of your service during wartime and now going back, and the good that you've done around the world. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bill.
Thank you.
So what we'll talk about now is upcoming events for the local Rotary clubs. The Carmel Rotary Club will have their 9th annual community basketball shootout on March 12th. Once again, your neighbors will be stepping up to the line at the Carmel High School Gymnasium to shoot baskets to raise money in support of local community service organizations. This is a great event. All local not-for-profit organizations and community project groups are invited to sign up and raise funds for their own causes. without having to go through the expense and hassle of organizing their own fundraisers. Since this event began in 2008, over $170,000 has been raised and donated to 80 local groups. So the way it works is your cause, your organization can sign up and then get contributions, pledges, and then each participant is given 2 minutes to shoot baskets. The total number of baskets made times the pledge per basket equals the total amount of donations for that charity. It's fun, it's competitive, everybody wins. And anyone is eligible, male, female, young, old. It's a great event. Go to the Carmel Rotary website to learn more about it. And finally, spring is around the corner, so please mark your April calendars for the Patterson Rotary Club's upcoming 20th annual Men Who Cook. That is a fun-filled but casual dinner where you can sample the best creations from over 40 local chefs. The date is April 30th, and more information will be available soon on Facebook and the Patterson Rotary website. So in the meantime, thank you all for watching. If you're interested in attending a Rotary meeting, just to learn more what it's about, see if you'd like to get involved, we're going to scroll through dates and times so that you can see when and where your local Rotary meeting is. We'd love to have you. Again, thank you for watching our show.